this is the first official video of where are you going, Bloodmoon? Of the first run of a heavily modded campaign using a fully customized group party of 4. These 4 characters are all based on myself and my friends from our LARP personas in a LARP game called Amtgard. Most of us don't play anymore, and one of them has passed. I did receive permission from the others to use their persona likenesses for this, and so I will go over each of them and explain my choices for them. For those who know us or from Amtgard, there may be some explanations needed. I do need to remind you, this is heavily modded. I've got like 98 mods or something like that. It's a ridiculous amount, I know, but it allowed me to tailor the characters pretty much to the way I want. Okay, first up we've got this little green guy here. That's me. That's my character. That's Qintahr. And
these things have stayed interesting.
Qintahr he's an elf, but specifically he's an Eladrin. The Eladrin are a race of elves that come from the Feylands, the Feywilds, and they're a bit different from regular elves. He is specifically a spring elf, which is why he looks all green. Got the green glowing eyes, which normal elves don't have. I gave him that wild haircut and made it's automatically green because, he's green. In Amtgard, I played, I went through a lot of character evolutions. Eladrin was never specifically one of them, but it's really close to the way I played him, so we're going to go with that. I've given him strength of 10, dex of 14, con of 14, intelligence of 18, wisdom at 17. I know it's an odd number. It doesn't give you anything more than a wisdom of 16 would. But I do plan on using Ethel's boon on him later, and eventually getting him up to a 20 wisdom. And he's got a charisma of 12. He's got dark vision up to 40 feet. His standard elven weapon training allows him to use the long sword, short bow, and longbow. He's got Fey ancestry like all elves do, giving him advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put him to sleep. And of course you can make opportunity attacks. His special Eladrin feature at level 1 is Phase Step, which basically allows him to teleport once per battle to any space he can see. So it's an improved form of Misty Step. So yeah, he's good. He's good to go. And this is some mod stuff that I created my custom companions with. So don't worry about what all that is. It's, other than creating them, it's not pertinent to the game. Let me just make some stuff here. This is a modded thing, a quick start bag, but I'm not going to be using it. Among other things, it would let me add +2 to all of his stats and stuff like that, and I don't want to go that far into cheating. So that's him. Next is this huge mofo here. This is Bloodmoon, my good, dearest, and oldest friend in the world. Bloodmoon is a barbarian. He's actually his race in Amtgard that he created himself was are the Artinians, and they are descendants of aliens that crash landed in the Amtgard world. He's huge. He's like 12 feet tall, compared twice as tall as the rest of them. But yeah,
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
yeah, you shouldn't have. Here's his stats breakdown. He's got a 16 strength, despite the fact that he's that big, because I didn't want to give him a 17, because Ethel's boon's not going to him. And there are other ways for him to get super strength in this game, so we'll be looking at those when they happen. Dex 14 gives him at least a +2 bonus on his initiative. Adds to his armor class, because he won't be wearing armor. He'll be wearing cloth, although there are some cloth armors that will give him some substantial boosts. Constitution 16, because he's going to be our main tank, and he needs to have hit points. This gives him a good starting hit point, but that stat will be going up as well. Also, for barbarians who are not wearing armor, this stat will add to their armor class as well as dex. So there you go. Intelligence 18, we don't need it. He is not stupid. He's actually a really smart guy. But as far as the character here goes, and using points, you only got so many to use, and this character won't use the intelligence score for anything, so he doesn't need it. Same for charisma. Wisdom is always good to have at least some points in, because a lot of really important saving throws are made through wisdom. He has these features as a Goliath, which is a modded thing. He has proficiency in the athletic skill. He could replace athletics with another of his choice if he had wanted to. He didn't. He counts as one size larger when determining the weight that he can push, drag, or lift, so his carrying capacity increases by 25%. Right now that brings him up to being able to carry up to 500 pounds, I guess that is. 500 coins, I don't know. I don't know what their actual weight category is, their unit of measurement, but 500 is what he can carry. Of course, he'll be slow as heck, because that'll be the limit of his weight, but that will go up as his strength goes up. I gave him some of the iconic stuff that he has as Bloodmoon the Barbarian. Most prominent was a birthmark feature around his eye, which gave him the name Bloodmoon. So I used the heterochromia settings to make that eye interesting, as close to his lore as possible. There we go. He should be fun to play. He's got an armor class of 15 to start with, and he's not wearing any armor at all, so that's good. So yeah. Next on the list is Kahl Methlin. Kahl is the persona of my friend that passed away. He played a vampire, and technically in the game he played as a healer, but he was a very strict and cruel healer, and wouldn't heal you if you wouldn't do as he commanded and stuff like that. And he did command some undead and stuff like that. In Baldur's Gate 3, I decided, rather than going with like a death cleric or something like that, because he never wore armor, he never wore any kind of armor, I go ahead and made him a warlock. And he is a warlock of the Dread Overlord subclass. That's another mod, which basically means he's going to have lots of negative energy attacks and undead minions. He'll get other spells here and there, Warlocks don't get very many spells, but they do get a lot of interesting powers, especially their evocations. He's starting the game with a bone staff, which is unique to the Dread Overlord, and it's got a couple of abilities already in there. Cult Indoctrination. The Dread Overlord his patron is a Dracolich. So this is when wielded by a cultist fighting under the banner of the Order of the Dracolich. They gain a +1 bonus to their spell save DC and attack rolls. So that's a good thing for him. Also, he's got Citadel Armaments. Instead of using his Strength ability modifier, which would be normal, he gets to use his spellcasting ability modifier for attack rolls, and that's Charisma. And as you can see, I've put his Charisma to 16. I've also put his Con to 16 because we don't want to be that squishy, but he should be a backline ranged combatant. He shouldn't be getting up into other people's faces that much, and if he is, something's going wrong. No strength because charisma is what he's going to be using. Dex of 12. It's good not to have a low dex because it adds to your initiative as well. Intelligence of 10. That's no bonus, no penalty. It's normal. He gets minion points, which allow him to raise undead using the Cursed Knight of the Living Dead, which happens on all of his attacks when he's got his necrosis thing going on. He's got Binder of Lost Souls, which means his ability to inflict Night of the Living Dead is limited by his current minion points, which is 1. It can replenish by a short or long rest, so any rest that you take replenishes this ability. And he can create up to 2 crawling claws, or 4 of them from beasts, from the spell Create Crawling Claws, which he has down here. Citadel Armaments, we went over that over the Bone Staff here. Cult Indoctrination, same thing. Deathless Nature, he doesn't need to breathe. He gains immunity to suffocating, poisonous fumes, nauseous, noxious fumes, and ghastly fumes. So, pretty much, cloud fumes aren't gonna poison him. As a dread cultist, trained by the Order of the Dracolich, he's proficient in flails, maces, scimitars, sickles, and shields. He can call upon the Dread Overlord's power to ignite his weapon with his dark fire, with the cantrip Necrotic Armaments, which allows his weapon to ignite with necrotic energy, dealing 1 to 4 damage extra, 1 to 4 necrotic damage extra, which is really nice, especially at low levels. Feeding Frenzy, because he is a Dhampir. While you are missing half or more of your hit points, he gains advantage with attack rolls using his Vampiric Bite. Forbidden Lore. Normally you only get forbidden, this is something that is specific, very specific to the Dread Overlord. It gives him +1 to any roll made with either Arcana or History, which he is proficient in both. Fel Lore has taught him how to curse enemies excuse me, harmed by necrotic damage from his cantrips. So he does have he will get some necrotic cantrips. He doesn't have any right now. He does have Inflict Wounds, which is necrotic. But yeah, he's a high half-elf. That's just his base race. He's got an Invigorating Bite, which means he gains as many hit points equal to the total damage dealt by Vampiric Bite. He can empower himself with that bite number of times equal to his proficiency bonus, which at level 1 is +2. so he can do it twice. And then all expended uses are restored on a long rest. Let's see, he's got Invoker of Spirits, the Soul Harvest. Basically, he can harvest souls of the dead. It wraps around him to surround him in a shield of souls, and it adds +1 to his armor class until long rest. So that's more armor class he can get. He can bind additional spirits using Commit Corpse, and each captured soul provides an additional +1 to the armor class. So, yeah, he goes grave dancing a lot. It gives him some other powers, which you'll see later on. He has Superior Dark Vision. He can see up to 80 feet in the dark, which is much better than Qintahr's. He's a Swarm Scion. Dampier can basically turn into a swarm of bats and move to unoccupied spaces that he can see, and gains a flying speed equal to his movement. And then, of course, there's his Vampiric Bite down there. So he has a lot of powers. However, he's very squishy, and if he gets hit, that's too bad. He'll be doing everything he can to stay away from a melee combat. Okay, and last but not least is Jilith.
Not as bad as it could have.
In Amtgard, Jilith was Kahl's sister. And she was actually the head of House Artemisia, which not only was Kahl a member, but so was I. And got something in my throat. Excuse me, that's terrible. It's so unprofessional. I'm so sorry. She is playing, or being played, as a Pallid Elf, which they're mystical, insightful people with skin as pale as the surface of Exandria's largest moon. I'm not sure where Exandria is, but I suspect it has something to do with Magic the Gathering or something. I don't know. They emerged from the Pallid Grove this century and wandered the world with childlike curiosity. Well, her childlike curiosity is a bit... She has a gallows humor. She's a very dark person. She's playing a level 1 sorcerer, and we picked shadow sorcery for her because it makes the most sense. And she's able to do a lot of stuff with darkness and shadow. I gave her a 16 charisma because that's what sorcerers use. And again, I gave her 16 cons, so she would not have low hit points. Everything else is just where I want it. Wisdom 10 means she's not going to take any penalties to saving throws. She's just not going to get any bonuses to them either. Dex 13. I mean, so strength 8 because she doesn't use her strength. Very similar character types here. You notice we don't have any hardcore fighters or anything. We do have Bloodmoon, and he's about as hard as it gets. Powers, Blessing of the Moonweaver. It gives her the light cantrip. And when she reaches 3rd level, she'll be able to cast Sleep, and at 5th level, she'll be able to cast Invisibility. Her regular spellcasting modifier is used for this, which is very important, and of course that's Charisma. Once you cast a spell with this trait, you can't do it again until you complete a long rest, but you can cast these spells using any spell slots you have of the appropriate level. So she can cast it once per long rest, just using the power, but she can also use her spell slots to do it. And I didn't fix this for her, so let me do that real quick. It's your light spell. There she goes. That's good. Okay. So that's it. That's the group, and that's who we're going to be playing with. After I do some stuff that I have to do IRL, I'll come back and we'll start running everybody through the game. Okay? Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for attending, and I'll talk to you later.